guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Yvonne from Ginger Chick Rehab. I'm so glad to have you back checking out what I have been up to. And so, oh yes, Chris and Alex and I have been garage sailing at the US12 garage sales. This is part 2. So this is the second day that now we went the opposite way. The first time we went an hour towards Chicago, and then this time we're going an hour out from where we live towards Detroit and see what treasures we find. So I would love to share with you all what I found. So some of the items are just to resell, clean up just to resell. Some of the items will be made over. So yes, please, I hope that you enjoy this kind of content, seeing a little bit of what is out there, and then me sharing with you what items I brought home that I thought were great treasures, along with the makeovers that I throw in at the end of the video. So right off the bat, we started our trip off and I found this cute little donkey. I'm gonna call it a donkey. It just says handmade glass, but it's that beautiful cobalt blue, $2. It was $2, $6. So $6 for this little, well, actually I say $6, but what they ended up doing is we had a huge grouping between Alex and I. So they kind of gave us a price. So you know how they do that, and yeah, so that was nice. So we got that piece. See if I can pull some of the pieces we got. And then we also I got one of these little red sign. This is signed. And then this is the red. It's like the not the blue bird of happiness. It'd be the little red bird of happiness. So I got that piece along with this stone seal. They said pottery, but it reminds me more of stone, but you know, each to their own. So I got this little, I am a sucker for animals. I just absolutely love animals. And then this little egg caught my eye. It's just a hand blown. It's got that white speckle on it. I know my ring light's picking it up. Oh, it is so pretty. Just a nice little bowl sitter. And then talking about a bowl, I really love, I did not know until Alex started getting into glass how much I loved blown glass and pulled glass. So this beautiful piece, oh, it's got like almost a brownish red. I wouldn't call that a cranberry. It's almost brown. Just absolutely gorgeous piece. Unfortunately, I wish it would be signed. You know, I wish it was signed, but it is not. And then also this little piece caught Chris's eye. It was just a little clown. It's made in Germany. It says 64 on it, but it was for Brian. But you can turn it the other way. My favorite of that sale, when she gave us a wonderful price. So she was a local, she does estates. And so we had been to a couple of her estate sales, and one of the gentlemen that works with her, Alex used to do 4-H trips with her. Alex and Chris actually used to do 4-H trips with this gentleman. So she kind of had a heart. And since she's a estate, and this is stuff that's left from the state, as I'm teasing you with those, yes, she just gave us wonderful prices. And Alex just made out so well. I can't wait for him to share on his channel what he got. So yes, and then there were these. Oh my goodness. This little hobnail uranium glass. They are uranium. And unfortunately, at the time that I am sharing this video, Alex no longer lives at home. He has his own place. And somehow he walked away with both of our black lights, so I can't show you how they glow. Well, our children, what are we going to do with them sometimes? So I absolutely love that find. Those are some great, got some great glass out there today. And then we stopped at that other one, and then the lady had this little owl underneath this little cloche Oh my gosh, I fell in love with that. I'm like, oh, I have to have both pieces, a little pottery owl, and then this little glass piece, which we're gonna call a cloche or whatever it used to be. You know, we just use things for what we want to use them for. And then also at that sale, I got this cute vase. At first I thought it was a pottery vase, but it's actually a Royal Hager. And I got it for 50 cents. So that was great. Loved that. And then I did pick up 2 little birdies. They're just cute little birdies. And I think I like these little guys just as they are. They just a nice neutral color with their little orange beaks. They're heavy like a ceramic. So love that. So as I'm sharing all this glassware with you, I just need to pop on and let you know that I am reselling now on Whatnot. It's a quick little app that you just put on your phone. It's an online auction. I think most of my auctions last maybe 30 minutes. I pre-show you what the item is that I'm going to be selling so you can see what is up and coming, what's going to be on the auction. And then at the time of the auction, which is usually Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, has been kind of where I've been setting my time of doing a auction. And so usually it'll be on there. We'll share with you how to get onto the app in this video. But yes, it's really a lot of fun. I get to chat a little bit with people that follow the channel, meet some other new people that I haven't met before. And yes, it's a great way to buy items. So let me share some more goodies with you, what I found. So the one, oh my gosh, look at this. So I know we use these as votive holders, but I believe that they were old butter molds, or this could be a reproduction. It was $12, but I can see resale in that for me, because I have resold these for about $24. So I thought that was a great price. There's not anything I have to do to this piece, maybe dust it off a little bit, but other than that. And then, let's see, I did run across a sale that had some milk bottles. So I don't really have any in my stash right now. So this one is, and they're new, this one's red. And then these two, one has a lid, and these two have black writing. Just put a little ribbon on them, and then just resell them for a few bucks. Cute little decor pieces. Another sale, you know, the mushrooms are really popular right now, so I thought this was perfect to pick up for Whatnot. Cute little tea in great shape. It's got the mushrooms on it, and then it also had 4 cups to go along with it. So 2 and 2. So, that one you can't see. So yeah, 2 and 2. So perfect, a little set there. Now I did pay $10 for that. So when I do like the auction, I'd have to start that off at the $10 price, at least to make my money back. But I know that the mushrooms have been really popular, so why not give it a try. Another sale I picked up, now I guess I learned that these are sugar shakers. So I thought I like the white milk glass of it all. It was $3. It's in great shape, so it can still be used. Now this one's not in so great shape, but it's got great patina. So this is just a little jar. It was $1. I don't even really think the lid fits well, but it doesn't matter. Look at how rusty crusty that lid is, which goes well with my next piece, which was a scale. Look at that. So look at all that rusty crusty goodness on the scale. So I think I only paid $3 for the scale. So yep. So I've actually been selling some of the scales because mine are full right now. So I've been selling some of these on eBay actually. This nice patina galvanized, probably a measuring cup, but there's no numbers or anything on it. So it's just a nice little scoop. I love the age of it. So it's been in the water, but for 25 cents, put some florals in there, sit it on a shelf, way cool. And then also, I think this is like something that went over a light bulb, but I like that green color. Oh my goodness. And it's got the cage, which kind of looks like a flower. And I think this was $1. Just, I I love Rusty Crusty, prefer black, but I'll take the green. I just love, this will look nice sitting on a shelf. Look at this bowl. I spied it and I thought, oh my goodness, it's gonna be, yeah, it was sitting there. This was late in the day on the sales and I thought, okay, what's wrong with it? What's, you know, so I'm looking, I'm like, oh no, it's numbered. I mean, it does have a little bit of a chip right here, but it was $2. I was like, oh, okay, well, you're coming home with me. I was like, that is a great price for one of these crock dobos. Then at that same sale, I picked up this little glass pulled flower votive. Oh my goodness. So I had one of these that I popped on eBay that was orange, and that sold really well. So I was glad to run across another one that was in the purple shade. Is this cute little kitty teapot. Oh, you know, I love animals, so no chips or cracks, I think, I don't know. Nope, I think it was in good shape. It does say made in China, and it might say Pure One. But I thought it was super cute. Super cute. And you always have to figure out how to get those back on. So yeah, I think this was, what was this? Oh, this was $1. Cute little kitty teapot. So, okay, so my last little grouping that I picked up, first right off the bat, since you can see the tip of this, it is just a green 3-drawer cubby. So I will be making this one over in the video. These are nice. Actually, I was leaving that garage sale with something else that I found, and I'm like, oh, I think that's what I think it is. So for $5, I walked back and picked it up. So let's see, sticking on the Rusty Crusty. This was at an estate sale. It was funny because it had $10, but then $5, and I did get it for $5. I love, this is a little bit taller one, so this is nice. I'll probably clean this up and resell it. People really like the labels on them, so if I have a label, I can resell it. If it doesn't have a label, it hasn't really been reselling, so I will just clean it up and hope that that label stays. For $1, I picked up this little caddy cubby. Now, the wood is nice, but I do notice if I do some wordage or some numbers on anything, they seem to sell better, so this will be part of one of the items I make over. And then my last find was the set of 6 of these little placemats. So I like to use these in my booth. I do put a price tag on them to stick under things so they don't, other items don't scratch up my furniture, because sometimes people aren't so kind when they move things around. So, but they're just a Better Homes and Gardens, so I think that's a Walmart, but they're nice. They're nice jute mats, and to have 6 of them, that's a little bit nicer than having to have a long runner all the time. So that is it for what I found. Chris is going to pop on and share some of the goodies that he found, and then stay tuned because I'll be sharing the few items that I'm going to be making over.
Yvonne actually spotted this. It's a beer tap that would be on a keg. She knows I collect Budweiser things, so she pointed this out. I thought it was a good score. Found was a 2-headed axe. These usually sell pretty good. One thing I would recommend if you're going to have a garage sale or stuff and sell your stuff is do not put your prices on the wood, because now I'm going to have to sand that down and probably mix up some stain to hopefully get it to the right color. Things I found were hay hooks. These sell well. I've got to fix these up, but yet again, somebody wrote on it with a magic marker, so that's going to take off some of that old patina of the red. Size of these auger bits. So these would have been used probably for somebody to build a barn back in the day. And then this one is probably 1.5 inches. I've never seen one that big. This old square, it is actually seized up. I can't move it, but I will work on this to get it fixed. And the last thing I got on the table right now is this auger. It's actually one of the ones that's on a T-handle. And one of the things that I just ordered stuff for, it's called POE, I think, 15. It's a cleaning solution, then it's a rust stabilizer, and then you put on this black coating and the rust kind of disappears. Now, this is something that I'm going to be doing with pieces like this. So if that's something you want to see how I do it and explain to you how I do it, just leave a comment and Yvonne will surely tell me. All right, so one of the last stops, actually one of the first spots that we hit, Yvonne and Alex picked up a bunch of glassware, which she had showed you, and he's probably going to show you on his video. And I saw this toolbox, and he had it marked down from $60 to $40. I passed it up, but then as we're coming back into Quincy where we found this, I actually talked him down to $30 for it, and it is in rough shape. I mean, it's going to need some work to get it fixed up, but every one of these drawers and the top were all full of tools. So if I walk you around the bench, you'll start to see what I mean. It was full of tools. I don't know if this was his grandpa's, his dad's, or his, but I mean, they just had tons of old rusty tools. And this is what I'm going to be doing in the booth. So I will be fixing most of these up. Most of them I don't need. I've got them already. But some of them I might end up changing out for a better piece. Something with a little more history on it. But that is day 2 of my garage sailing, which was tools.
Okay, so we're gonna kind of show you on an iPhone how to get to Whatnot. So Chris is just gonna open his app. He's going to type in his search bar, Whatnot, and it's all one word, no hyphen in between. And now all he's gonna do is just push the download. Double click on the side to install. Just
download.
Yep, so now it's just downloading. It's just gonna show up on his screen. Then he can open up, but then he will need to make a username, sign up, sign in, the whole thing. So he got all logged in, he got his username set up, and so now it's gonna ask him what he is interested in. In our category is the vintage category on Whatnot, which is new. Vintage decor is what our category, my category is called. So then it'll open it up, vintage decor, estate sales. You can select more than one. So this is what your screen will look like because he pushed in estate sales and vintage decor.
Oops, no spaces, right?
No spaces. Okay, there you go. He did find me. So now see, this is what my auctions will come up and look like. So I'll have a couple ahead, so you know what I'm going to be selling and the dates and the time. You can set up to get notifications by hitting the little button on the side that turns yellow. So yeah, so it's just as he clicks on it, it'll just ask him for he won't be able to do too much until he puts some info in, but that's what it will look like. So plain and simply. And then when you go to bid, after you get all that logged in, if you're interested, yeah, and then it's not like an online Facebook or Instagram where you type in the number. There's actually a bid button that you hit. So I hope you all come over to Whatnot and check us out. So yes, day 2, of course, I had to come back with another window at this garage sale, but 6 pane. This one's in good shape. This one was $7. But I sell once I make over windows, 45, 65, depending on what I do to them. So I was happy to come across another window. First up for a makeover is an item I forgot to show in my haul, and it's just this little wooden cubby. So as you see, I'm just taking the air compressor. You know, you always get that gunk stuck in the corner, and sometimes the air compressor just helps blow it out. So I love the wood of it, but plain wood a lot of times just sits back in my retail booth and just doesn't sell. So I'm definitely going to be giving just a little makeover to this. I'm not going to take the character off the wood, but I'm just going to add a little more to it. So for the most part, I'm going to leave this wood, but I need to protect the wood that I do not want to have paint on. So I'm going to go ahead and use some masking tape to tape off the areas I don't want to be painted.
Now that I have the 4 sides painted with 2 coats and dried, I'm going to just take, this is a leftover piece of decoupage paper that, you know, us crafters, we never get rid of anything. So I wanted to add that wording to it. That way, makes it a very simple transformation. But first, I'm going to go ahead and distress the paint that I put on. Removing the tape, you always get that hard, crusty edge where the paint builds up. So for me, it's well worth the time to tape off in case I don't have a steady hand, but then go back in and sand where that crusty edge is, and I'm going to sand a little bit of that white paint to give it a little bit more of an aged look. Now this main wording perfectly fits, so this is a great use for this leftover piece. So all I had to do is fold it over. Notice the headquarters will sand off, so I'm just using some polycrylic to adhere it on. So since I've already distressed the edges, all I need to do now is take some sandpaper, some 220 grit sandpaper, and just sand the excess paper off that I no longer need. Then I'm going to go over one more time with the Orbital sander. I sealed this in with polycrylic already. I want to make sure that it is nice and smooth to the touch. You'll kind of see where the paper is, so I'm going over to trying to distress that just a little bit, but taking any of that so it looks like it's all one. And then I'm going to go ahead and do one more coat just in case I went all the way through the paper. And I can't tell you how excited I was when I was walking out of that sale and I spied this 3-drawer cubby. Oh, I love making these items over. They are always pine, they're always built really well, they always sell really well, and this one is in wonderful shape. So even the knobs are nice, crisp white still, but I'm going to update that hunter green to, of course, one of the ginger chip colors. One of the key points of prep is proper cleaning of your item. If you want your paint to stick, yes, clean it properly. So just some Krug cutters, some hot water, make sure that I get all that dust and debris out of there. And yes, I am painting this with the drawers in. That's how it was painted when it was green, and I can touch up anything in the inside if I need to. But this makes it so that it is a easy transformation. And I knew that I wanted to use some of my papers on this, and look at how well this fits. This grain number 4, look at those grain sack stripes on the side. It is like this paper was meant for this cubby. Oh my goodness, I'm super excited that it completely fits. So now I'm just sizing, and actually I'm just going to use the polycrylic again and glue this down on there. I'm just double checking where my wording and that I'm centered for where the knobs will be, but I think everything is going to work out perfectly for this piece. The paper I'm using here today is the lighter. There's a 10 and there is an 18 when you order from Zazzle. And this is more of a tissue paper like, so this is the 10. And so I really want to make sure that I'm using just saran wrap, trying to get all the air bubbles and the wrinkles out, because once this is wet, it tears really easy with your hands. So the saran wrap does help with that. But now that it's dry, I'll go ahead and cut off the excess along the top and the bottom, and then I'll use some sandpaper along the sides to cut off the excess. And now to get to my drawers, I'm just going to take the sharp X-Acto knife, very gingerly, even though I have it in a fast motion, and cut that off so I can get out my 3 drawers. Now I need to go along all the edges. I'm going to go ahead and sand off that excess of the paper that I just cut from the in-between. So yeah, you could glue it down, but I find I like that crisp edge of just sanding it right off. Now that I have all those edges sanded, I took the air compressor one more time to blow off any of that sanding dust and from the excess paper just laying around, and one more coat of polycrylic to seal this all in. Now the final thing I want to do on this is just add these little feet. They're just little clear feet that you order off of Amazon. We get a whole bunch of them in a pack. This just prevents that wood from scraping on the object that it's sitting on. So just usually an easy fix, but as you know, of course, as you're filming, there's always struggles to be had. Now, since there was only 2 makeovers in this video, I have this set of canisters I actually was going to put into a garage sale because they never sold in our retail booth. And then I'm like, hey, what am I doing? Those are Enamelware. I can paint my version of Enamelware over. Unfortunately, nope, nobody wanted them. How long do you hoard onto something until you wait for the right person? So yes, I have to paint the whole outside and the top because it has that sunflower, and then the smaller one actually has a dent in it that has now rusted. So I'm going to go ahead and paint these over and share the process with you all. For the 2 bigger ones, I'm not going to worry about painting the inside, but the smaller one, I'm going to have to deal with some rust prevention on this. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the inside of this using the Rust-Oleum's red primer. The other ones I have flipped upside down, taped off so nothing gets underneath them. But yes, hopefully this Rust-Oleum red primer will stop that rust from happening and seal that spot in for me. And then the red primer on the other 2 is going to completely cover up the image. I'm going to be painting these white, so I need something to cover up so you don't see that image underneath. And this red primer I have really loved using. You'd think that covering white on top of red would not work, but so far so good. And then for the white of the Enamelware, I'm using the Farm Implements white spray paint. Oh my goodness, this is a really close match to that manufactured Enamelware. It has just that nice sheen to it, and really by the time I've done this is usually a 1 coat coverage. I do go ahead and do a light coat at first, and then I go back over and cover anything that I see. Now that's unusual usually with spray paints, but there's something unique to this one, and this is a Farm Implements paint, so it's great for the metals and great for that rust spot. And then to plate my black ring around, as you see, because I taped off that inside, there's still some of it left. I actually have a gallon size of our Farm Implements paint in the black that we actually use for outdoor furniture. Loving that. We did that early on this spring. Still loving how, we'll see how it survives the winter, but it is just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just going to take one of those makeup sponges from the Dollar Tree store and then just, yep, clean up that rim in that black, and that has the same gloss. Now the first time that I did this, I just used my regular Kills paint or spray paint and then the black onyx, but I really love the two of these together. I think I'm really keying down on that Enamelware look. So I actually tried two different techniques. One, the first paint that I used was that same Farm Implements black on some stamps, but because this paint protects so well, it did not stick. It just made a mess. And then I did try my IOD ink stamp also, and nope, it did not want to stick onto, because it's so glossy, it just glided right off. So I may try vinyl, maybe, or I'm just going to actually leave them as is. Maybe after they cure a little bit longer, something may stick to them, but for right now, they're just plain. So I really thought about just leaving them plain, but I just couldn't do it. So I went to my tried and true Cricut with some Oracle 651 vinyl, the permanent vinyl. Just did a basic font, size appropriate to the canisters, cut those out on my Cricut, and now I'm just trying to line all these up so I can sell it as a set. So, you know, they tear down. So all I did was just make sure that I had the grid transfer tape. That way I could count down what was going to be in the middle and then adjust it as I was putting my vinyl onto my canisters. So like that one, I went down 2 from the top. The sugar, I went down 1. The coffee, I went even. That way I was nice and even through all 3 of these canisters. I think they turned out absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you so much for watching today's video, and let me know, what did you think about the part 1, part 2 of us doing the US12 garage sales? It was they were definitely a long day. We had a lot of fun. Some you might have went through quite a few before you found a goodie, but they were still fun to go to. So let me know down below what item that you liked the most that we found, and then the few items that I'm making over, let me know which item was your favorite there. Thanks again for watching, guys, and as always, if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you are new and you're checking out this channel for the first time and you liked what you saw, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know when we've uploaded a new video, and we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye!